All right, so today we're diving into something really interesting. We're going to take this ancient poetic text, it's about 3,000 years old, and we're going to see it for what it truly is, a gripping psychological drama about temptation, manipulation, and a very deadly trap. Let's get into it.
Wow. Okay, that's a pretty startling line, right? It's the grim conclusion to our story. But how did we get here? Who is this she? And who are all these many slain? We're going to unpack the entire narrative that leads to this fatal final moment.
So the whole thing kicks off, not with some big action scene, but with a voice. It's a father, and he is desperately pleading with his son. And let me tell you, this is not just your average fatherly advice. The stakes here are literally life and death. It's a battle for the son's very heart and mind.
I mean, just listen to the intensity of the language here. Guard my teachings as the apple of your eye. Write them on the tablet of your heart. This is visceral, it's urgent. This isn't a suggestion, you know? It's a flat-out commandment for survival.
So what the father does here is he lays out a really clear choice. It's like you've got two paths in front of you. On one path, you've got wisdom. He even calls her sister and kinsman, someone familiar, someone who's got your back. But on the other path, that's where you find the stranger, whose whole game is using seductive words to lure you right into a snare. The conflict is set right from the start.
Okay, so just as you're taking in all these commands, the father's tone completely shifts. He goes from giving orders to telling a story. A very specific cautionary tale that he says he saw with his own two eyes. And this is what makes it so chilling, right? It takes this abstract warning and makes it terrifyingly real.
So let's meet our protagonist. The text calls him a young man lacking judgment. He's one of the simple. Now, that doesn't mean he's a bad guy or evil or anything. It just means he's dangerously naive. He's vulnerable, and he has absolutely no idea what kind of peril he's just casually walking towards.
And the setting here, the setting is just perfect. It completely mirrors his whole psychological journey. You see, it starts at twilight, right when the light and maybe his clarity starts to fade. Then it moves to, as the day was fading, that kind of murky in-between time. And where does it end? Into the dark of the night. Full darkness, where all the dangers are hidden. And, let's be honest, where really bad decisions get made.
And now we meet the antagonist. And she's not just some random person. Oh no, she's presented as a true predator, someone who has mastered psychological manipulation. She has a playbook, and it is crystal clear and calculated.
The text gives us this really detailed profile of her. Let's break it down. Her appearance? The attire of a harlot. Her whole demeanor? Cunning of heart, loud and defiant. And her method isn't passive. It's super active. She lurks, and then she literally seizes him and kisses him. And her weapon of choice? Her words. They're brazen and dripping with flattery. This isn't just a description. It's a portrait of a calculated hunter on the prowl. And her method, her playbook, it's this brilliant, calculated three-step process. Check this out. Step 1, justification. She comes up to him and says she just fulfilled her religious vows. See what she's doing? She's creating this false mask of respectability. Step 2, the invitation. This is where she goes for the senses, describing this luxurious, perfumed bed. And finally, step 3, and this is the clincher, the reassurance. She takes away his biggest fear, getting caught, by telling him her husband is miles away on a long trip. It's a perfect trap. And this is the climax of the story. This is that critical moment, the point of no return. He's been completely disarmed by her strategy, and now he makes his fatal choice.
She's reeled him in with her words, and what does he do? He follows her, on impulse. The text makes a huge deal about how sudden this is.
Now, the text uses 3 incredibly powerful similes to describe what happens next. The first one, he's like an ox going to the slaughter. Just picture that, this big, placid animal, just dumbly walking towards a violent end it can't even begin to comprehend.
The second simile, it's a deer.
And think about that imagery for a second. A deer bounds. It's full of energy. It feels free. Maybe it's even excited. But here's the tragic part. That very feeling of freedom and excitement is what leads it straight into the trap. The illusion of pleasure completely hides the reality of being captured.
And the last image is a bird darting into a snare. This one is all about the speed, the finality of it all. 1 second it's flying free, and the next, snap, the trap closes. It's swift, it's irreversible, and it is absolutely deadly.
And here it is, the devastating punchline to this whole sequence. The ox, the deer, the bird, and our young man, they all share one single tragic trait. They are completely, utterly ignorant of the real cost of their actions. Not until it's way, way too late. It will cost him his life.
So, the story's over. And now we're back to the father's voice. He's just painted this horrific, vivid picture, and he's about to deliver the final, stark lesson.
He repeats his opening plea, but man, does it hit different now. Now it's carrying the full weight of that tragic story we just heard. Now, my sons, listen to me. Do not let your heart turn aside to her ways. This command isn't abstract anymore. It's a warning against a very specific and very, very real danger.
And here's the ultimate deception, the final twist. Her house, remember how she described it? A perfumed bed of pleasure and delight? Well, the text reveals what it really is. It's the road to Sheol, which was the ancient word for the realm of the dead. It's a direct highway descending to the chambers of death.
And this brings us right back to that line from the very beginning. Her slain are many in number. The young man in this story, he wasn't the first, and he's definitely not going to be the last. He's just one of many who have walked this exact same path to their doom. You know, this story is thousands of years old. It was written about a very specific kind of trap, but the psychology behind it, the appeal to our impulses, the promise of pleasure that hides a devastating cost, the danger of just being naive, man, that stuff is timeless. Which really leaves us with a question to think about. What are the modern-day snares? What are those alluring paths that look like freedom but are really just roads to the chambers of death that we should be guarding ourselves against today?